Hey guys, I'm Josh, and today I'm going to be showing you how to remove and replace the rear axle and axle bearings on a sport ATV. Okay guys, so the rear axle assembly on your sport ATV is a high wear item and takes a lot of abuse. It also gets neglected by a lot of riders. So you want to be inspecting and maintaining that rear assembly often, especially depending on how much you ride and the riding conditions that you ride in. This will also help avoid costly repairs down the road. Now let's talk about your axle bearings first. With your axle bearings, a few ways that you can know those are worn out is maybe your axle doesn't spin freely or it's seized up. Another way is that when you lift up your machine, if your axle jiggles inside of your bearing carrier, that is a sign that your axle bearings are worn out. Now with your axle, if it's bent or maybe your splines are damaged, that is another sign that you may need to replace your axle. So we're going to be showing you how to replace both your axle and axle bearings on this 1999 Honda TRX 400EX. So let's get started. So having the right tools for this job is really going to make or break how easy this job is for you. So we've got a couple common hand tools. We've also got a rubber mallet and a torque wrench. Then we've also got a couple machine specific tools. The first is this Tusk axle bearing remover set. This comes with a slide hammer and a custom sized collet for your machine. And this really makes taking your bearings out of the bearing carrier much easier. Then we also have the Motion Pro axle nut wrenches. Now we have a couple different kinds and manufacturers that make these, and these really make all the difference in getting your axle nuts off your axle, especially if they've been seized up there, because they're specifically sized for your specific machine. So make sure and enter your make, model, and year of your machine to get the specific ones for yours. Now, as far as parts go, like I said before, we're going to be replacing our axle. So we're going to be replacing it with this adjustable width axle from Tusk. And then we also have the All Balls rear axle bearing and seal kit. This comes with bearings, dust seals, and O-rings for the rear assembly. A couple other parts you're gonna want is you're gonna want some contact cleaner, penetrating lube. You also may need some heat to help get the axle nuts off. You also want some grease, gloves, safety glasses, and rags. Another tool that'll make this job a lot easier for you is the Tusk bearing and seal driver set. You're also gonna want a copy of your machine's specific service manual for your procedures and specs. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you're working with a clean machine. Once that's done, you can break the lug nuts loose on the wheels. Next, you're going to want to lift and secure the rear end of your machine up on a stand. You may need a buddy to do this. The next step is to remove the wheels as well as the wheel hubs. To do that, you're going to remove the cotter pin, then the castle nut, and then pull the hub off. If you're only going to be replacing the axle bearings, you only have to remove the right side wheel hub. The next step is to remove the two bolts holding the brake caliper on. And now we're going to spray some penetrating lube into the axle lock nuts. Okay guys, so now that we've got some penetrating lube on these locking nuts, we're ready to remove them. Now this is where the Motion Pro axle nut wrenches really come in handy. Not only are they the exact size for both of these nuts, but they also have a 1/2-inch driver socket where you can put in a breaker bar to get yourself some more torsion and really help you break these nuts loose. Now, your machine may be a little bit different. You may have two locking nuts right next to each other. A lot of the Yamahas, they have an Allen bolt that locks the bolt down, so you'll want to make sure and loosen those up. And then the other thing to note with this TRX is the threads are reverse threads, so keep that in mind. Also, you can see that this came to us with the inner locking nut tightened against the rotor hub, which is actually incorrect. So in our case right now, we're going to be turning it clockwise to loosen it away from the rotor hub. But if yours is tightened against the locking nut, you'll be turning it counterclockwise. And then we'll show you how to properly install this later in the video. Now that we've got the inner lock nut loose, it's time to actually tighten down the outer lock nut for this machine because there's a snap ring that's on the inside that we need to expose and take out. Now, again, depending on your situation and how corroded these lock nuts are, you may need more penetrating lube as well as some heat to help break these loose. Now that we've tightened down this outer lock nut by going counterclockwise, you can see we've exposed the snap ring, so we can just remove this by using a screwdriver. Okay, now that we have the snap ring removed, we need to take off the outer lock nut. And then once we get that off, we will be removing the inner lock nut as well as the threaded sleeve underneath. Now the threaded sleeve comes off independently of the axle. Now if yours gets jammed up and gets rusted on there, there's a couple ways you can get that off. One is to tighten the inner lock nut against the brake hub, and that might help push it away slightly to help get it started and slide it off. Another thing you can do is use a rubber mallet and lightly tap the backside of the brake drum hub to help push that off. Now that we have the lock nut and the threaded sleeve off, it's time to remove the brake disc and brake disc hub. This is going to be the same process. You may need some penetrating lube. Also using a rubber mallet and tapping on the backside is the best way to get this off. The next step is to remove your chain, either by pulling your master link and letting your chain dangle, or by loosening up your axle and sliding it off the rear sprocket. Okay, now that we've gotten the axles down to this point, this is a really good opportunity for you to check all your drive components. So you can check your chain, sprocket condition, also check if there's any free play in the hubs of either your brake disc or your sprocket hub. Also check your brake disc for excessive wear. And then also it's a good chance to check out your wheel hubs and make sure there's no excessive play or that the splines are damaged or anything there. Now for us on this machine, we've gone ahead and inspected all of our drive components, and we're actually going to be replacing most of our drive components with new stuff with our new axles. So we're going to be doing a new chain and sprocket kit because this one's pretty worn out, as well as a new brake rotor and brake pads. Now we're ready to remove the axle out of the carrier bearing. The best way to do this is to get a rubber mallet, and then you're just going to hit it from the end out to the left. Now that we've got the axle out of the machine, it's time to pull any O-rings as well as the dust seals, and we're going to be using this seal puller that can be found on our website, which makes it super easy. If you don't have one of these, you may be able to use a screwdriver and a pick as well. Now we're ready to remove our bearing. So we've got our machine-specific collet here, and we're going to install this into the bearing, and then it's got a little lip that'll hook right behind the bearing, and then we can tighten these down against each other. And then we'll thread our slide hammer onto the end of the collet and slide hammer out the bearing. Now that we've got the bearings removed, you can pull out the distance collar that sits in between the bearings. Now that we've got our bearing assembly removed, it's time to remove the bearing carrier. To do that, we're going to remove this outer snap ring. Now that you have the snap ring removed, we can remove the caliper stay or hub. And you may need to use a rubber mallet to get this off and just slightly tap off the back. Now, once you get it off, you may find on this machine, we have a couple of O-rings underneath that you'll want to remove. Once you've done that, we can loosen the back swing arm bolts and lightly tap the carrier bearing assembly out through the left side of the machine. Okay, now that we've got our carrier bearing assembly out, you can see there's a couple O-rings on the outside. You're going to want to remove these, and we'll get ready to replace them. From here, we're going to go to the bench and clean and inspect all of our parts and get ready for reassembly. If your bearing carrier is in bad shape, you can replace it with the Tusk bearing carrier, which is a complete replacement option for your machine. Okay, so now as you can see, we've gone ahead and cleaned up our carrier bearing assembly with some Scotch-Brite, cleaned it all out, and also used some contact cleaner. So you're going to want to do the same. Now we're ready to drive our bearings into place. So we're going to start with the disc side first. Now with your bearings, typically what you want to do is look for markings and have the marking side go up. Now this bearing is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way we're going to go. Make sure and check with your machine-specific service manual to get the right specs for yours. Now this is also where we're going to use the Tusk seal driver. We've gone ahead and found the right size for our bearing, and you want to just make sure if you're using a socket or a driver like this that you are driving it in from the outside race, not the inside, because that'll damage the bearing. So we're going to go ahead and drive this in. We also have a 2x4 underneath to kind of absorb some of the impact as we drive the seal in. You're also going to want to coat the inside of the carrier bearing as well as the outside of the bearing with some grease before you install it. Now you'll know that you've driven your bearing all the way in when you hear a change of pitch as you're driving it in. Now that we've got this bearing seated completely, we're going to flip this over and we're going to install the distance collar as well as then drive in the other bearing. Make sure that you're greasing all the parts as you do this. Now the bolt bearings are fully seated, we can flip it over and we've got two different grooves here for seals. So we're going to take our two seals that come from our all balls seals kit and we're going to grease those up with some seal grease and install them. Now that our carrier bearing assembly is all put together, we can liberally grease the outside of the carrier bearing as well as the inside of the swing arm and get this thing installed. Now as you install the carrier bearing assembly, make sure and put it in the same orientation as you removed so that your chain tensioner assembly is all lined up. Next we can grease and install our remaining two O-rings from our all balls kit, and we're going to install them, one on the inside up here against the edge, and then the other one's going to go on the inside of this groove on our brake caliper stay. Now make sure and replace and inspect any O-rings for your specific machine. Now that we got those O-rings in place, we can grease the outside of this and the inside of here and install this brake caliper stay. Next step is to install our snap ring. Now you'll notice this one says outside on the snap ring, so if you have a snap ring for your machine, make sure you pay attention to any insignia and just the orientation of this. Our next step is to take our dust seals and we're going to use some seal grease and lube them up and then drive them into the bearing carrier so that they're flush with the bearing carrier. Now when you do this, make sure and pay attention to the orientation of your dust seal so that you reinstall it the same way that your old ones came out. Now in our case, we've got insignia on this side and then we've also got a concave side. This concave end is going to go inward and the lettering is going to face outward. Once you have your dust seal driven in and it's flush with the bearing carrier, you're going to have a cavity right behind in between the bearing and the dust seal. You're just going to want to pack that full of grease. Then complete the same steps for the other dust seal. Okay, now it's time to reinstall your axle. Now we're going with this new axle from Tusk, and again, it doesn't hurt to apply a little bit of grease, especially to the center of the axle here. Okay, now that the axle is installed, if you reinstalled your old axle, you should still have the sprocket on here, so it would just be time for you to reinstall your chain and hook it back up. Now for us, like we said before, we're going to be installing all new drive components, so we're going to go ahead and put on our new chain and sprocket kit from Primary Drive, as well as our new brake rotor and brake pads before we go any further. The next step is to install the brake disc hub. So on the inside here, there's an O-ring. So we've gone ahead and got a new one. We're going to grease and install it into this little groove on the inside. And then we're going to grease the inside of the splines and install this onto the axle. Our next step is to install our new Tusk Typhoon brake rotor. Now I've elected to install this once I've gotten the brake hub on there, just make it easier to torque down the bolts. You may not have this step if you've chosen to keep your old rotor. Okay, so our next step is to install our threaded sleeve onto the axle. I've already gone and installed the inner lock nut onto it. And then we can install our outer lock nut on top of that and thread it in just slightly. Once we get that on, we can then slide our snap ring onto the axle temporarily. Now that we have the lock nut assembly in place, we are ready to tighten this down. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to back off this outer lock nut and apply some thread locker to the inside here. And then we're going to tighten down the outer lock nut to expose the inner groove where the snap ring lays. Now, once you get that exposed, you can pop the snap ring into place. Once you have the snap ring in place and in that groove, it's a good idea to put some grease in there to protect it from rust and corrosion. Now we can back the outer lock nut up against the snap ring and torque it down to 59 foot-pounds. Now that we got this outer lock nut torqued down, we can move on to this inner lock nut. Now with the TRX 400 specifically, the service manual is a little bit deceiving with this and a lot of people get it wrong, and it was actually wrong when we got it. So a lot of people will torque it down against the brake disc hub, and that's not the case. You need to torque it down against this outer lock nut. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of thread locker on it and then tighten it up against the outer lock nut and torque it to 85 foot-pounds. Okay, so our next step is actually to take the machine off the stand and put it on its own wheels. So to do that, we're gonna reinstall our wheel hubs. And before we do that, since we've got this brand new Tusk adjustable axle, it's got spacers that make it adjustable. So we're actually gonna go to its widest width and we'll install those on first, and then we can install the wheel hub and then put on our castle nuts, torque the castle nuts to 101 foot-pounds for this specific machine. And then we can install our cotter pin through the axle and the castle nut. All right guys, so at this point we're almost there. The last couple steps is just to reinstall the brake caliper and then adjust your chain tension and slack, and then tighten down the swing arm bolts on the rear to lock it all down. At that point, you can then take it off the stand and make sure everything's rolling and working properly. All right guys, and that's all it takes to remove and replace your axle and axle bearings on your sport ATV. Now again, having all the right tools really makes all the difference for this job. It makes your life a lot easier, as well as the job go by a lot smoother. So if you want to pick up the parts we showed you today, make sure and check out our website. You can get the parts we showed today, as well as many other parts and accessories. Now, if you have any questions about anything we did today, make sure and comment those below. We'll get those answered. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. I'm Josh. Keep those axles turning.